My name is Charlie Albert from Oliver Farms. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a family farm that my mother and father started 70 years ago. My dad was a hort man. His dad grew flowers and a little bit of produce. And my father didn't like the flower part of it, but he loved the produce. So we split away from his father, and my mother and dad started a little vegetable farm in Troy, Michigan. And my mom and dad used to go to a market, which is still here today, called the Royal Oak Farmers Market. I'm sure if anyone's around this area, they know about that. And back in the 60s, I think, when I was this tall, Mom would bring me to the market. When I got this tall, I drove without a license to the market. Because Dad didn't want to go to the market, and he says, take your mom to the market. So I took Mom to the market at 14 years old, because I could drive the truck. Go to jail today for that. And my mother and father, but my mother made a lasting impression on all of us kids, was that she always used to say, do good and forget about it. That was an important thing that she always told us. Anywhere. At school, at home, anywhere. And when she, at the end of the market day, nuns would come, because there weren't food banks. And the nuns would come and pick the stuff up that any farmers had extra. A lot of farmers were reluctant to give because of their own reasons. We always gave. I was happy as a child, as a young boy, because I didn't have to touch it again. I just put it in the car, and it was gone. They would bring it down here to the Capation kitchen. And as our farm grew, they couldn't take as much as we had extra. Then along came Gene Guy. Is he here? Did you all meet Gene? Did you?
Yeah.
Come on, is Gene here? Okay. All right.
Probably talking to someone.
Well, if you meet Gene, you don't forget Gene, okay? And as our farm grew, and this is probably about 35 years ago, we had a loading dock. And Gene knew about this loading dock, and he was bringing some plants out of I think, Georgia. So we get a call from this gentleman named Gene Gagnon. He said he wanted to grow some plants because he was going to grow some food for the food bank. So he says, we download them for him and hold them at our farm, and he'd come pick them up. So I got off the phone with him, and Dad said, well, who's that? He goes, well, some guy in the city is going to grow cabbage. I don't know what about, but... And that was it. And we started, Gene come to the farm to pick his plants up, and we knew that at that time that he was the real deal. He could make things happen as far as food. And it just expanded from there. I worked down here in this building for 10 years. Today we grow 40 acres probably for the food bank of custom products like corn, cabbage, earmarked, that nobody else gets them, no matter what the market price is. If the market price is 10 times the going rate, it's earmarked for the food bank, and it only goes to the food bank. And we grow squash, cabbage, collards, green peppers, and whatever else they need. So that's about my story with the food banks. Our roots are deep with giving. Again, it was just something that how we were raised. And so it's worked great for us, and we've always had a lot of great memories of the food bank. We still have great memories of this great place and great organization. So that's about all I can tell you.
First off, because he's been doing this a couple years now, and he's really making it happen.
All right. Well, welcome to Detroit, like everybody else has been saying. You'll be welcomed many, many times. We hope you have fond memories and good memories of this trip. I'm Rick Whitecott. We work for DTE. Worked there. This is my 23rd year. Hired at the new plant. So, well, but my heart, my hobby, my love is gardening. All right. So, how do you make all that marry up? Well, our company about 4 years ago, DTE Energy, that's the main electric and gas provider for this part of the country, Michigan, and the gas provider for all the rest of the state, but we don't provide electricity over there. So we have easements, like any other company, right? We have easements that are all around our properties, zones that we control. Well, if you control a zone in the city, you've got to maintain this to a city ordinance, right? So you got to keep it mowed, you got to spray it, you got weeds that are getting in the way. What are you putting in there? Herbicides. But this is good Michigan arable soil. What would you do with this that might be preferable? So a good friend of mine that I'm filling in for today, who is our overall project coordinator inside the company, is Mark Zupmore. He, I, and many other people had ideas, well, why can't we find a good way to use this and provide the produce or whatever would come out of it to some useful purpose in the region? Okay, so this has evolved over time. We started out with 1 or 2 test gardens. Now we have 10 full gardens. We have 3.2 acres in amongst them. They're scattered over 4 counties. So 2 in Wayne County, that's this county that you're in right now. There are a majority of them in the Oakland County, which is north and west of here, 1 down south in Monroe County, and 1 in Macomb County. And we have, because I am the site coordinator, I work on one of the gardens, and it is actually in its 2nd year this year. So that garden is about a ½ acre. So all of these gardens are varying sizes. The site coordinator, working with the volunteers on the site, decides what they want to grow, how they want to grow it, working with the program coordinators like Mark Zupmore and Kate, who I'm going to formally introduce here in just a second. So last year, which is our 4th year of operation, so we're getting ready to start our 5th year this year. So the 4th year of operation, we brought in 44,600 pounds, 3.2 acres. Now we only have 100 acres altogether. So think of the opportunity that is out there, 100 acres. So I want you to take a look at these pictures. These are from our gardens, but it doesn't matter because CompuWare can put their pictures, and you know what, they're interchangeable. And any other corporation with their pictures, and they would match up. What do you see in these pictures? Tell me, what do you see in these pictures we have here? What's here? What's here? People. People. It's people. Our corporation connecting people to nature, to the earth, to the nutrition system, to each other, because nowadays people are not connected with each other. So think of the triple bottom line, quadruple bottom line, sustainable type approaches. Think of the experimentation agriculture that you can do when you have 100 acres and you have multiple diverse site coordinators that want to do different projects. The opportunities are broad. Okay? So everything that we produce goes directly to Gleaners or Gleaners supported charities. So all of that goes there. And I want to specifically introduce Kate. She's so new she's not new to agriculture or gardening, but she's certainly new to our effort. So how long have you been with us, Kate?
About 12 days.
12 days!
Yeah, I definitely just started. And I spent probably the first 3 days doing nothing but returning emails, because we had in the general DT Energy Garden email box just flooded with people who wanted to volunteer. We had individuals, church groups, corporate groups, people saying, would it be okay, would you mind if we brought 70 people to come out and help? And I assured them we can find a lot for you to do. That's not going to be a problem. And I had known from beforehand that people really want to give to this kind of organization. Their time, their donations. I hadn't known until I became a part of Detroit Gardening, because before I was in a different area, what a huge network there is between growers. We had someone drop out who was our #1 donor through no fault of their own. It happened. So all of a sudden, I had about a week before we were hoping to start till and no plans to put in for next month. And someone gave me the name of Patrick over at Earthworks. And he CC'd someone who told someone else. And I now am trying to coordinate all the plans that I have coming in. I called Charlie, who had never heard of me, poor man, out of nowhere. And I said, you know, I'll insist on giving you something. No, refused. He's not taking anything. All I need is you to list what you need, the number you need, and when to have it to you by. I think it was 4 minutes into the conversation I was told that I was going to be in an arranged marriage with his son. And I don't know yet. So this is a very welcoming city. I'm really excited to be a part of it. It's an amazing thing that's going on there. So thanks for listening to all of it.
Yeah. I just at an elementary school, so painted hands, compost ferns. So I want to just say hi and welcome to everyone here. I hear that you, on your tour earlier today, drove by our garden. So we are the first garden in the central business district of Detroit, which is kind of a crazy thing. We are CompuWare Corporation, which is an information technology company, which personally I have no experience in computers really other than what I was raised with in college. So I kind of feel like I'm the odd apple in the bunch, but it's great. Our chief executive, Pete Hermanos, really is committed to the city of Detroit, and about 8 years ago moved the corporation from the suburbs into the city. And as Detroit is, the downtown is kind of being filled in again by corporate life, he saw this opportunity when one of the buildings, called the Lafayette Building, was demolished just over 2 years ago, and worked with the city, and Meg worked tirelessly. Basically wanted to create a space for his employees to come and work in the soil and do things with growing. He's a master gardener, and so was committed to this idea of growing food and having it being a community building space. And the other thing is that a lot of the people who are employed at CompuWare and in other corporations downtown don't live in Detroit. And so there's a lot of divides in the city, economically, socially, racially, that are really prevalent when you're in the downtown because it doesn't look like the rest of the city. So in creating a garden, we're able to kind of mitigate some of those boundaries, because when you come into a garden that's a park and you can come and sit in this garden, you can engage at your level. You're able to break some of these barriers that otherwise divide you. And food is something that everyone eats and everyone is connected to. So what a great place to start to rebuild the community and really create a community between all of these various entities that exist in Southeast Michigan. So the other thing that's exciting about the space is that it's city that's owned by the land, that's owned by the city of Detroit. And so the city of Detroit partnered with us in creating this temporary garden. We'll move if a developer comes in with a better offer. And so it's a design system that was created that allows then for us to grow food and to create beauty in a space, even if it's temporary, and to start to create that community. And then if we need to move to a new location, we will. And so this sort of partnership is pretty exciting, because the city of Detroit, prior to this, wasn't necessarily willing to have their own land be a garden, especially in the downtown area. And there's a lot of ideas about what farming is, what gardening is. It's sturdy, it attracts rats and pests. And so creating a space that kind of defies all of those things and really allows people to come in and participate. And then we have the great privilege of bringing the food that we grow to Gleaners. And knowing that produce that we've cared for and grown organically is then returned to the community, to those who need it. And so it's been an amazing project and really exciting. And Willie Spivey is growing our transplants this year, which is really awesome. And so we're really happy that we're able to be this space where where professional people who live downtown, people who are walking by can come in and use the space, either just like I said, sitting or volunteering with us. And it's been quite exciting. So, and now Meg can share anything else.
I think Gwen covered it. You guys can ask any questions. But yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's an interesting model to think about redevelopment in a central city core, and it's been a really exciting project. Just to see how, and this is sort of our inaugural season, so we're learning a lot, which is cool. But we also brought some more stuff. If you guys, did Sherelle give you guys a tour when you were there? Or did you just drove by? You just drove around.
In the Marriott.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Well, we have more flyers, yeah. People want flyers.
Yeah. And if you're around, what is today? Okay. So we're only open from 9 to 5 during the week, and we're trying to extend those hours because all the labor, except for Gwen, is volunteer-based and volunteer intern-based, and so our hours are limited, but we're working to expand them. So because you're at the Marriott, you're really close, so come by if you want, anytime from 9 to 5, and the next until Friday.